Hello, good evening, and welcome to our conversation today. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Okay, so you're welcome to today's intellectual exchange. Today we're meeting with Sonal Jhajj from India. Okay, and she's good. Please, can you tell us a little about yourself before we can kick off with the questions? Over to you, ma'am.
So, yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Gloria ma'am, for this wonderful invitation and honor. And definitely, it's a collaborative effort. Educators connect and are trying to create an impact through our own ways of learning and sharing the knowledge. So it's an honor for me to be on your platform and moving ahead with my introduction. And I'm Sonal Jhajj, and I'm the founder and CD of my platform Metamorphosis, which is on education, where I'm trying to connect with educators to bring a global change in the mindsets and to bring a change among the educators so that they can implement in the classes. And I'm an editor with my three books available on Amazon. I am a literary evangelist. I am trying to bring change in the mindsets through writings and contests and challenges. And I'm an early childhood educator with a span of more than 20 plus years in education, where I try to implement life skills with education because during my experiences, I have seen only academic is not enough. So we have to try to inculcate life skills, and that can only happen if we try to bring a change in the mindsets of the educators first. So it is a three-way connection like a triangle. So we just cannot penetrate the triangle directly. We have to cross all the three corners, and then only we can have a center stage. So this is my introduction, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Nice introduction, and you have a great profile, I must say. Thank you very much for joining us today. All right, for the first question. Um, my first question for
Yes.
today is, can you share some innovative strategies or activities that you have successfully used to integrate life skills into the early childhood curriculum?
So wonderful question, ma'am. Definitely
Thank
yes.
you.
So actually, what is life skills? I would like to ask some of the audience people also what are actually life skills. Life skills is not only working in the house or teaching children and empathy, compassion, and all that. Life skills is more about infusing integrity into education. Life skills is more about making the child learning to walk the talk. So when we want the children to adopt this kind of teaching, we have to start implementing them in the classroom and from 3 years onwards. So how that can be done is collaborative effort of all the faculty members, of all the teaching members, and all the people connected into the education with the parents and the teachers and the educators together involved in the learning process of the child. So when we talk about the strategies, the strategies are very simple. We are talking more about critical thinking. We are talking more about innovative practices. But are we actually implementing them? We are not. We are just talking. So we have to start using action-based and implementation techniques on the ground level now. So that cannot happen just by talking with people on the line, on the session. And how these can be done is we have to bring children into the limelight. So a child of 3 years is so inquisitive that he wants to participate, but we don't give the children an opportunity to participate.
Yeah.
We are always trying to have that fear that the child will not be able to do. Yeah, the child is a slow learner. The child is not
Mm.
able to pick up the complexities of a particular subject or whatever the teaching that happening in the class. So that is the drawback that most of the educators are facing. And they are not able to understand the NEP policy that has come out. When we talk about the Indian NEP policy, it is as simple, and we have to understand the psychology of each and every child. Every child is unique. We cannot say that the XYZ person is above average and the ABC is not average. ABC is equal above average, but they might have some kind of a different talent. But if we blend together both, when we talk about the peer-to-peer teaching, when we talk about association, so we have to connect two children together so that they connect the learnings together. So that is life skills. We want children to have a connectivity. We want children to connect with each other on a human level. So that when they grow up to become better individuals, we have to start using these kind of practices in the classroom, not just by verbal talks. How these can be done is start making small groups. 4 children in one group, give them a project. And the teacher should go and observe each and every group, observe the characteristic of each and every child working in a group. So when we say of making 4 groups, so you have 16 groups. So you are observing 16 children and you are giving them a group. You are making one a leader. So every group has a leader. So when a leader is taking, the leader has to think that he has 3 people under him. How he is going to allot the task given to each of the child. Okay, this child will do this child will do that. That will help the child pick up the leadership qualities when they grow
Mhm.
up. And these will also help the child. These will also help the child as he keep excelling higher in the classes. So the teacher has to sit with the child, not on the chair. Sit with the child, next to the child. Observe the basic nature of the child. Observe the thinking pattern of the child. And also the principal or the head of the school should keep watching whether the principal or the coordinator is actually taking into consideration the observations being observed by the child. So when they have the selection committee for the children, they can allot a particular type of a task for the each child gifted with that type of a talent. So these are the strategies we need to implement. We have to move out from the innovation. We have to move out from the critical thinking. We have to start inculcating humanity, leadership traits, and how they can create a wonderful team so that when they go up in the higher classes and in the job sector, these life skills are being questioned upon. So now when they go for an interview, so many people are like, okay, you have done this, you have done that, you have a degree, you have a professional degree in that. So that is not enough now. Now we have
Yeah.
to start observing the life skill, how the child or how the particular adult who has grown up in a particular setup has actually improved in these kind of 10 ladders. So each and every ladder has to be monitored by the teacher. The report has to be given to the principal that this child is good in this. And what teacher has observed, the teacher should also be kept in the mind. Okay, this teacher has observed the child from phase 1. Now the child is in phase 10. So from phase 1 to phase 10, what are the changes that have happened? How the child has metamorphosed from phase 1 to phase 4. So these are the strategies we need to implement on the ground level now, apart from academics.
Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing response. Wow, thank you very much for
Definitely.
this response. Okay, how do you balance the teaching of life skills with academic content in the early years foundation stage, that is the EYFS, without overwhelming young learners? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
even
the activities might be too much for them. So how can you do all this without overwhelming them?
Yeah, definitely. EYFS is actually early years foundation stage when we call about it. EYFS, early
Wow.
years foundation stage. And the age from 0 years, I will say 0 years to 8 years, is the beautiful stage for the child to pick up any kind of a learning. The child's mind is like a paper, it will absorb everything. Whatever you will etch on it. When we say that life is a beautiful canvas, the child's brain, which is blank, is a beautiful canvas. So how are we as educators and parents going to help the child paint his own brain in beautiful ways? That we have to inculcate in the teacher, in the educator who is going to be present in the class for the 3 hours or 3.5 hours. So the teacher is having 3.5 hours. She has 40 teachers or 10 teachers. Now the canvas of the class is in front of the teacher. Each child has a beautiful canvas of a brain. The teacher has to pick up every child, give the particular child a particular task. Like, for example, we talk about how we blend it is like when you are teaching a child about fruits. So understand the concept of the fruits. So
Mm.
we have to come out of the box ideas like show the fruits to the child, understand the seedless and the non-seedless fruit. So when they grow up, they can understand the basic science of the fruits. They can understand the basic science of the fruits, the color of the fruit, the shape of the fruit, the edibility of the fruit, whether the pulp can be eaten, the skin can be eaten. And this way, the child will understand the connection with the teacher, which we call as a emotional resilience. So these are the life skills that the teacher is sitting with 4 children, understanding the concept. So that helps building the connectivity with the teacher so that children are transparent when they grow up. They will not have any kind of psychological problems. and they won't need to be going to the counselors for all if the teacher is well equipped with all these kind of strategies. So when you introduce the fruit concept, bringing fruits into consideration, showing the colors of the fruit, connect the colors with what they see in the nature. For example, if you're showing a child a lemon, connect the lemon. What else do you think is yellow in color? The child will understand, oh, the sun is yellow, the sunflower is yellow. So this way the connectivity has to go on. So
Yeah.
this is the way the teacher has to try to, it is not about studying the theoretical material. It is all about situated learning, when we call what is present at the moment, what is available at the moment, connected with the academic. It's not necessary that you need to have papers, pencil, colors all the time. Child's brain is covered with everything, the color, the pencil, the paper, everything. You yourself have to become that tool
Hmm.
rather than depending on any artificial tools.
Wow, amazing response. All right, in your experience, what role do sustainable teaching aids and sustainable teaching aid play in teaching life skills? And can you provide example of effective aids
Yeah,
that
wonderful, ma'am.
you have
Yeah,
created?
wonderful. So when we talk about sustainable goals and sustainable teaching aids, we are focusing more on empathy, compassion, kindness, and which is not being implemented. We talk but not implement. We are
Hmm.
keeping on talking about kindness, empathy, compassion, synergy, but it is not being implemented. If you see in the digital world, in the virtual world, everyone is talking about it. But when you connect on a human level, all these things are absent. That smile is absent. As today is the World Smile Day. So that smile, the natural smile is absent. And that absence of smile creates a barrier for all of us to connect on a wonderful professional level. The children observe, the children pick up these skills, how the teacher is in the class, how the teacher is behaving in the class, the rapport of the teacher with the other colleagues. So these are the certain kind of things that we need to inculcate. So sustainable developmental goals have a lot of things in them, but my focus on sustainable development goals is conservation of our resources. When we talk about the wastage, we have so many unwanted things at home. We waste so much. We keep ordering food. We start throwing our bottles of aerated waters and all. So these things can be accumulated and converted into teaching aids. How they can be taught depends on the teacher what she wants to implement. So saving the environment, saving the earth, and not polluting the earth, and making the child understand the concept of using minimum resources, that we can stay happy even if we have less. We don't need to keep on collecting things unnecessary. So whatever you have, use it in such an efficient way. Teachers and educators should start understanding the concept that okay, this particular thing is not being used in the school. How these can be converted into a teaching aid, and what is not absent, what is absent in the class at that particular moment, fuse it with the academic and start making a teaching aid. For example, there are so many things what the teacher wants to implement, like shoe boxes are there. There's so many other things are there that are lying waste in the house. Collect them, use them, use your creative mind, convert them. So this is when we call about sustainable teaching aids, which requires less of investment rather than spending money more on momentary things, because every day we need new things. Children's minds are like very flexible. They don't
Thank
like
you
a
very
particular
much.
thing to be shown for a constant 10 days.
Mm.
Every day introduce something new, the child will pick up the learning fast. But if you keep on showing one thing to a child for a span of 1 year, the child will get bored.
Mm. That's
So
exactly.
convert the teaching this way the children will also pick up this quality of using usage of the waste resources and making it into a productive use, which we call as SUPW. SUPW is called as saving the usage of the productive waste materials.
Hmm. Amazing. Thank you. This is great. This is a brilliant answer. All right. My next question is, what are some key skills that you believe should be prioritized in early childhood education and why?
Oh, there are so many. I cannot mention one. There are so many. The first thing is that what I am seeing from the last 20 years and now in the digital era, we don't walk the talk. We don't walk the talk. And that is the basic life skill we start need to adopting. We need to eradicate biased attitudes. We need to connect on a human level. We need to be interconnected on a very human level. So, like I'm connected to you for making a change in the society. So that has to be on a natural rapport. It's not that, okay, this is just for professional purposes. We actually want to bring a change. We actually are striving a level best to bring a change. And that has to be heart to heart. So we need to teach children also, connect on a heart to heart level, so that whatever you want to pick up in the life, whatever you want to bring a change, that change happens. So integrity, transparency, then walk the talk, and trying to make the child not to speak a lie at all. If teachers are doing, educators are doing, the children will pick up 100%, no doubt about it.
Exactly. That's
We
true.
want the children, we always say, teach the children to moral stories. We tell them stories of so many morals and all, but we are actually not doing it. So when we actually are not doing it, how can we expect the children to do? So this is what is required. Start implementing, because unless you implement, the children won't implement. It starts from you. Everything starts from you, the
Hmm.
teacher, the principal, the faculty, the school, and the
Hmm.
parents. Most of the parents, what they observe at the home.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that response. All right, my last question is,
This is
how do you measure the impact of life skills education on children holistic development? And what tools or methods have you found most effective?
yeah. So this is a very challenging question, and most of the parents connect with me, and I counsel the parents. I said, when they say, ma'am, what can we do? Our child speaks so much of lies. Our child knows how to make stories and escape his own wrongdoings. I said, how do you, as a parent, function at home? Do you speak live with the family members? Do you
Mm.
hide the real stories with the family members? Do you try to hide your children's wrongdoings and make your child to be fit in the good books? In spite of the child knowing that the child has done a wrong, and the parent is trying to protect the child from the reputation being at stake. So if you are doing it, the child will definitely grow up to be like that.
Mm.
So if the child has done, if you have done, take accountability of it. It might hurt you for 1 minute, it might hurt you for 2 days, but at the end of it, you will get a good night's sleep, and the child will pick up the skill from you
Exactly.
automatically. The child will definitely pick it up from you, and he will alert you later on as he grows. When you will try to do such a thing, he will tell you, mom, you told me not
Don't
to do
do
it, and now
this.
you're doing it. So when we want the children to be like this, we have to be like this. Even if we have done a wrong, learn from it. There's no harm in learning. Your position, your status, your achievements are not going to define your personality. You're taking accountability of your actions, being true to yourself, and implementing them on a very honest and a natural basis on a day-to-day level. The child will become a wonderful super achiever. So these are the skills we need to implement more than academic. Academically, the child will be all rounder. He may get a percentage of 90, 95. He will get a good job. But at the end of it, how is he as a human person? There will be a question mark to most of the traits not being taught to him from early years onwards.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
I believe that the audience will learn a lot from what you've just said today, because you've really highlighted most things that people don't know about early childhood education. So thank you very much. And I really appreciate
Thank you.
your presence
Thank
in
you.
this intellectual exchange. And I look forward to meeting you again to discuss more topics related to early years education. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Please, do you have
Thank you, ma'am.
any
Thank you so
final
much.
word? Any final word to the audience? Maybe just advice or
Yes.
anything that you need to give to the
Oh,
audience.
definitely, yes. My message or my one tip to the audience is, no matter whatever the adversities you're facing in life, no matter whatever challenging tasks you're facing in life, smile, make the world
Hmm.
beautiful. Your smile creates a lot of impact, and that is where your real education shows. And number two is, follow the path of integrity. That is the first most expensive degree. Integrity is the best degree, and that will lead you to success. And invite more and more truthful people in your life to be connected with you and create a legacy of learning.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
amazing. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. I'm going to also keep
Thank you
this,
so much.
what you just said now, I'm going to keep it. Integrity is the best
Thank you so
education
much.
ever. Thank you very much. Thank you. I
Thank you.
really
Thank you so
appreciate
much. It's a pleasure. Thank
it.
you.
It's my pleasure having you today.
Thank you so much.